Hey guys, Chris here, back from C&H Technology again. We got another quick video here for you guys today. Today's Friday around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I want to get this this video uploaded before it starts raining again today. So this will be probably about a 5 or 6 minute video, hopefully. We had a custom machine here. The guy actually brought two machines over here to, this past week, and we finally got them ready to go today. And he has the Sears Craftsman string trimmer here. He brought the first one over here, then he brought the second one over here, and these machines have the called combi drive shaft assembly on here, because you can take the drive shaft, the lower portion off, and switch them on each machine he has here, because he originally bought one was a 2-stroke and the other one was a 4-stroke, so you can basically use the same unit for each one right here. You take this whole lower unit off, and this thing will function perfectly fine with the 2-stroke machine here or the 4-stroke, as I have sitting right here for a side comparison between them two right here as well too. So let me flip around here for that so you can see them both side by side here. Each one has the bicycle handle on here with the combi unit directly below that as well too, so you can pop that thing off relatively easy without any kind of serious time for time swapping and stuff like that. The only drawback is with this type of system on here is this thing starts getting fatigued over time right here, guys. And me personally, in my own personal opinion, it's really not a good idea right here to have these kinds of machines, because that portion right there is a relative weak point in the actual drive outer boom shaft assembly right there for that. So if you're thinking about buying one of these things, I personally would not do it. I'd recommend getting a Husqvarna or a steel machine myself instead of this actual design for this Sears brand right here, specifically for that. Let me flip this around here for you. Okay, here we go. This is the Sears Craftsman 33cc weed whacker trimmer with a full crank on the actual engine right here. So this is a step up or an upgrade from this, the older, cheaper design they had on the other machines out here as well too. And we're gonna show you the actual back of the machine here as well. Flip it around here. Here's what it looks like on the back. It has the Sears Craftsman simple design on here as well too, so they claim it's supposed to be easier to pull over on here, and that's why they came up with that specific design parameter, or the actual design of the recoil unit, because apparently they were having people complaining about having to pull it over harder out there, the older design, so that's why they came up with the simple design on here, because they were having older people that I was actually told by some of my friends who actually work at one of my local Sears stores. They were having older people having a hard enough time trying to pull over the ones from I'd say about 5 or 10 years ago, where the older ones simply had one recoil spring and your actual recoil assembly down there, where this one is a newer design where it actually helps you pull it over easier on here, and that's why they came up with this design originally. And let me see if I can get a shot of the actual information of the bulb in the machine here as well too for you. Let me wipe this off. Here's the actual bottom tag for the machine. Sears Roebuck 2009 EPA compliant. Let me see if I can zoom here, sorry about that. There we go, right there we go. Sears compliance, 2009 EPA compliance. There's all your information. Model number 358.7911170. Emissions compliance rating is 50 hours. So what we had to do on this machine here, apparently somebody was working on this before me over here, and what happened was the person was dicking around the fuel lines on here, and they had the fuel filter line. It was split down the bottom, and it was not filtering gasoline properly. So the guy brought over to us over here because he kept on messing around with himself, and he still could not get started. And we had to replace all the fuel lines, the intake gaskets. Let me see what else they had to do here. New fuel lines, intake gaskets, new fuel filter, new spark plug on here as well too. cleaned out the air filter, cleaned the gas tank out because he had a lot of debris falling back down inside the actual tank here. Because you get this crap right here. He had all this black shit down inside his tank right here. You can see the new fuel line we put on here. This is Tygon fuel line. This is basically the best stuff you can put for your typical two-stroke engine out here. I'm going to get a better shot here, but I can't really do anything about that. But it definitely has new fuel line. We got about 4 new fuel lines put on this machine, so it's all good. It's all great, and the carb pumps up perfectly fine now on here. No problems with it whatsoever. So we'll go ahead and fire it up here for you. And this machine actually runs quite well here. I was quite surprised after we put the new carb on here with the fuel line, filter, and everything else. He got about 145 PSI compression ratio in here specifically for that. And he has absolutely no scoring in the actual cylinder on the exhaust side of it, because we already did the preventive check of the exhaust side on here, because it's always a good idea to always take your exhaust system off, take the muffler off, and look down inside the actual ports, because if you're going to have any kind of scoring in the engine, 99% of the time it's going to be on the exhaust side, because two-strokes are notorious for clogging up the exhaust side, and some of that carbon may fall back inside the engine and clog up the engine, or cause scoring on the exhaust side. So we'll go ahead and fire this thing up here for you. So bear with me here for a couple seconds while I put the camera down real quick. Okay, this thing fired up. Put it on choke. Should start in 1 pull or 2 pulls. Okay, fired up in one pull, guys. Got a nice low idle, no problem with that. So we'll go ahead and gun this thing up here. Go ahead and shut it off. So the machine fired up in 1 pull with cold, and it's working perfectly fine. As you see right there, this thing actually runs better. The actual two-stroke, if you compare the second machine the guy brought over here, the two-stroke actually runs better than the 4-stroke right here, because even though we put new carbs on both these machines over here, the two-stroke one seems to be running better, has more power right here than the 4-stroke over here. So overall, me personally, I really recommend sticking with the two-stroke myself, because you have less complicated engine design because of that fact. Plus, this machine has a more power to weight ratio, specifically because it is a 2-stroke engine right there specifically for that. So overall, the machine's ready to go back to the customer. Got the new spark plug, new fuel lines, new fuel filter, new carb assembly, new intake gasket, air filter's clean, and the gas tank's clean, and it's basically ready to go right now for that. So typically a job like that takes probably about an hour and a half to do if you're in a rush out there. For me, I take about maybe about an hour and a half to do a job, because you don't want to screw up and put the fuel lines on backwards, because I had other people that brought the machines to us here about a year ago. They had a machine similar to this, and they put the fuel lines on backwards in there, and what was happening was they were sucking fuel up in the opposite direction on there, and apparently they had some bad fuel in the tank, and it scored up, or I see it clogged up the actual carb, and they need a new carb because of that one fact. So always, if you don't know what you're doing, please do not attempt to do any kind of repairs yourself, because you will cause more harm than good on there for your machine. So if anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot about this machine here, I'll give you a secondary shot here. I would get, again, there you go. Top down. There's your new, or I should, the other boom shaft assembly, the combi kit. So there you go, guys. I'll see you guys. Have a nice day.